so that's actually my comment over there. I just want to add to that. Yeah, so if you look at the buildings in Town Square, that's what I'm talking about. I think that's why we have lots of land use separation, because people stereotype to think that all forms of commercial have to be separated, which is not true. And then I just want to go to my other comment that I just put it out, that to have connectivity, I think the real elephant in the room is not just the large scale single use zoning. It is these large arterials like Rainbow, Blue Diamond, St. Rose, Tropicana, Craig, etc., because they really divide the neighborhoods and they basically make it harder for people to get to where they need to go. And they don't really make traffic flow very, very efficient. And you talk about sprawl and how we have to stop spreading out. Look, Las Vegas is the fifth densest urban area in the country. And we're almost as dense as the New York urban area, and we're more dense than Chicago and Boston. But they actually take transit and walk on average more than we do.
Yeah, interesting comment. And you make good points. And I guess I would just say, back on the arterial issue, it's a good example of how, we can create new standards that encourage or require connectivity between new neighborhoods, but a big part of the dynamic there is going to be, working with the transportation planners and working with the public works and making sure that the standards and the goals of the code are integrated with those other policies and those other departments. We're not going to be able to, eliminate major arterials in Clark County through this project, but I think we can pick our battles, and we can try to focus on improving connectivity in the places where we do have opportunities with new development to make an improvement.
Well, I'm referring to essentially the new outward development. And I'm saying that if new outward development wants to continue, maybe we can make it more like downtown, with essentially redistribution of traffic. And we see less cul-de-sacs. We have to also understand gated areas are really not helping either, especially when people can easily get into a gated subdivision. I would like to see more redistribution of traffic. And also, I've almost forgot, what about parking minimums, building setbacks, which comes with these arterials, and not to mention commercial signage, because commercial signage brings down the quality of the neighborhood, and it discourages, along with parking, to make commercial next to residential. I mean, where I grew up, by the way, they banned those things since the 70s.
They banned what? I'm sorry?
They banned tall commercial signage. So where I grew up in South Orange County, California, when you had a gas station, you can't have a 10-foot taller or sign that has the logo of the company. You'd have to have a certain limit because they want to keep the quality of the neighborhood going. Summerlin does that.
Mm-hmm. Those are all really great points, and I think we do cover a lot of those in detail in the assessment report. But we appreciate you bringing up more of them here for emphasis today. A lot of communities have examples that we can draw on and all these topics. I'm thinking about Henderson again, and on the connectivity issue, they've got a connectivity index that they use for those new developments, those new subdivisions on the edge. They basically would require a minimum number of connection points, to surrounding areas. So you're not just creating a new freestanding pod that's a bubble unto itself, but it doesn't have dead end streets. It's got connections to adjacent areas. It's got a minimum number of kind of through access points. So that's an example of a tool that we can propose for the county as well.
One last comment. I would like to see more of a grid or close to a grid system every time when we expand out. Go on.
Good comments about avenues and boulevards with medians too, to encourage connectivity, turbo roundabouts, raised crosswalks. Those are all good points. I think there's a lot of things that can be done physically on the ground to improve connectivity. But a lot of those things, I want to emphasize, they're not really Title 30. Title 30 can authorize the use of those things at a high level, but some of those things will be subject to specific public works requirements standard engineering specifications that are adopted by the county. So just to reemphasize, we'll be coordinating closely with the public works folks and other departments as relevant to ensure that anything in Title 30 is consistent with other standards and policies that the county has adopted.
And my name is Cyrus, for the record. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes, and I just wanted, at least to my other comment, that I basically don't want these in between passageways either going to be slow moving traffic for cars, pedestrians, and bikes, or you have fast moving traffic like Summerlin Parkway, where essentially there's a buffered landscape zone. It doesn't divide the neighborhood, things like that. And so I want to see hopefully transit that can compete with the car, such as personal rapid transit, as opposed to bus and light rail. Time to break up the county because it's just we have all these unincorporated areas. It's just we have all these different interests, and it's just this large central control. And I think it's better for more unincorporated areas to turn into cities, or we add more commissioners, or we break up the county because I think it's just not working too well. I mean, the thing is,
can I interrupt? We're not going to argue those points. Those aren't related to the Title 30 update. It's all more of a political legislature. Everything that you just noted it's all more political and legislative. It's not related to the zoning code.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. We would be going down a road that isn't part of our purview. So I just didn't, we're not arguing that point. It's just that it's not under this purview. It's not something that we can even examine in either our master plan or our update to our development code.
Account everything that is put on the Transform Clark County website. We care about what you have to say. And quite honestly, everything that you have to say, we're letting the commissioners know that this is a concern and that is a concern. So I would really request that you provide a little respect to Mario and Sammy, who are trying very hard to be inclusive. If we weren't being inclusive, we wouldn't have these meetings.
All right, I get it on that level, but then somebody came up with this as an idea, and nobody seems to like it, and yet it seems to be marching forward. So what can we do about it?
And we have taken to heart what you have been saying about this, and I'll let Mario or Sammy jump in. We have taken to heart everything that you have said, and we are not marching it forward. But you also have to realize that we have our process, and we are going to. Everything is public, and everything is known, and everything that you all say is being recorded, and not recorded in the sense that we're recording what you say, but every comment that you have on all of these documents are being brought forth, and we are letting the commissioners know that this is a concern and this is a problem. And don't think that we're just marching forward with these concepts without any input from you.
And I would just add that what you're hearing is a lot of people who are saying no. But we have also heard from people who think that we're going down the right path, and they like the direction of the consolidation of the categories. So we have to balance both sides of things. So just because you have not heard someone say, I like this, doesn't mean that everyone hates it.
See, I'm not saying that consolidation of categories in general is bad. I'm saying that what I see with regard to outlying neighborhoods, these rural neighborhoods, that it is bad in that case. And it seems like there's just a march forward to do it. I mean, who came up with this idea to consolidate these highly different neighborhoods?
We gave the direction to the consultants to look at revamping our categories, and cases where appropriate to consolidate. We are almost at a 1-to-1 match between our land use categories and our zoning districts. And at that point, why have a zoning map if your land use plan is dictating the uses or the density? That really needs to come out of the zoning side of things. And let me say more clearly that with the outlying neighborhood and the ranch estates neighborhood, we have heard from some folks who like the idea.
Are they, again, like the idea about the rural neighborhoods being put into a position of increased density?
And they are in those areas.
Interesting that as a member of the Red Rock Citizens Advisory Council and being very involved with my neighborhood and similar neighborhoods, I haven't heard a single person speak for it. So I'd love to talk to somebody like that. Can you put me in touch with them?
I'm not going to do that. No.
So Evan, again, just make sure that you put the comments in, go into Transform Clark County, put your comments in. We are not ignoring them, okay? But we have a lot of, and what I would request from you is that you also look at some of the comments that other people are making on these documents, because they are available to see. You can see them and you can comment on other people's comments. So, you know, again, we're not rushing anything through. We're making sure the consultants listen to everything that is being said. And, you know, none of us, Mario, Sammy, and I, do not want to get into an argument. We don't want to say you're wrong or you're right or anything else.